So every 2 years, the global AIDS community gathers for the International AIDS Conference. This year, the conference is going to be held in Washington, D.C., and it promises to be a historic event for a couple of reasons. First of all, the conference has not been held in the United States for the last 22 years. The conference being in the United States is going to be an opportunity to acknowledge the U.S. leadership and the response to the HIV both nationally and globally through programs such as PEPFAR. Another important reason of the return of the conference to the United States and what's going to happen at the conference in 2012 is that we are going to be talking about the beginning of the end of the AIDS epidemic. We are clearly at a turning point in AIDS. And at this conference, there'll be a series of discussions and debates and presentations on the data which address the question, why are we saying we can end the AIDS epidemic? If we are, how are we going to do that? And that is going to include what is the science behind that, what are the operational implementations aspect of this, how are we going to pay for this, and what is the role of the community? What is the role of the policymakers in terms of truly turning the tide of the HIV epidemic? Other important topics that are going to be discussed at the International AIDS Conference include some presentations on new drugs for HIV, as well as new drugs for tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is the leading killer of persons living with HIV. We haven't had new drugs for over 3 decades. And finally, now there's some new data about some extremely promising drugs that are starting to come out of the pipeline. The meeting is also important because there's going to be a lot of discussion about curing HIV. There's been one individual who's been cured of HIV, acknowledged by the scientific community, and how we can use that information as an engine to drive the cure agenda is going to be front and center at this meeting.